AITA for telling my sister-in-law that she didn't actually run a marathon? I've been a runner for as long as I can remember. I absolutely love it. I want running to continue growing as a competitive activity and as a just-for-fun hobby. I encourage and support newcomers to running. But recently I encountered a situation where I felt gatekeeping was necessary. My sister-in-law got into running last year, and she absolutely fell in love with it as well. Since I am also a runner, I decided I could connect with her on the topic. I wanted to hear about her runs, her progress, and maybe offer some helpful guidance if she wanted it. So, at a family gathering I asked her about running. After a bit of conversation, she mentioned to me that she ran a marathon. I was quite surprised. She ran a marathon after only getting into running a year ago. That is amazing. What incredible dedication and drive. I thought to myself. I was about to praise her for this incredible accomplishment. But then she explained this marathon in detail. It was a virtual marathon that she started late last year and apparently completed this year. Basically it was an app-based event where you tally up your running distances until you reach 42.2 kilometers. 26.2 miles. I chuckled slightly and told her that it's great she totaled 42.2 kilometers in that time frame. But it doesn't count as a marathon. I told her that marathons have time limits for completion, usually 6 to 8 hours. If they didn't, then I could claim multiple ultra-marathons via the aggregate distances I ran in my life. It's disingenuous and, in my opinion, undermines those who have actually ran a marathon. She didn't take this well. She called me an asshole, a bully, an elitist, and a few other things. I apologized for upsetting her, but I stand by what I said. She didn't run a marathon. I didn't press the subject at all and left it at that. She wouldn't speak to me the rest of the gathering. My wife agrees with me. Despite not being a runner herself, she said her sister overreacted. Their mother said that I should have just let my sister-in-law believe that she ran a marathon. Maybe. I don't know. She is 23 years old, without any impairments. Validating her marathon would feel similar to lying to a child to boost their confidence. The difference is, she is not a child. Am I the asshole? NTA. She didn't run a marathon. According to Apple Health, over the past 26 weeks, I've averaged 5.1 miles a day. Does that mean I'm walking a marathon every 6 days? Of course not. That's ridiculous. NTA. Saying, I ran a marathon, implies that you completed the whole distance in the same day, not that you did a mile a day on an installment plan. Otherwise I climb Mount Everest every year on my stairs. This is NTA all the way. I'm stunned at these YTA responses. You were simply correcting her. It's completely acceptable, expected even, for someone experienced in a sport or hobby to explain the parlance to beginners. What she did is nothing close to running a marathon, and claiming that she ran a marathon diminishes the accomplishment of everyone who actually has run one. It would be like if I claimed to have climbed Mount Everest just because I climbed 30k in elevation. Over 100 hikes this year. Ridiculous. And any such claim, made to an actual mountain climber, should be immediately, and politely, corrected. Your motivation was not to tear her down or ridicule her. It was to simply correct the misunderstanding of a beginner in your sport. Completely the right thing to do. As agreeing with her would have even been a bit dishonest, she simply overreacted. Edit. Had to change first line so NTA came first to ensure votes got counted correctly. Thanks for the clarification in the responses. Info. You are right and she is wrong. That is pretty cut and dry. However, that doesn't mean you didn't handle that specific scenario like an asshole. If that makes sense. Bit confused about people's judgments here. But personally I'm gonna say NTA. Op. Yeah, it was wrong to laugh. But you did apologize for hurting her feelings afterwards. At the end of the day you just explained what an actual marathon was to her. And she way overreacted. As you said, validating what she thought of as a marathon is like lying to a child to boost their confidence. NTA. She didn't run a marathon. Full stop lol. Anyone who thinks otherwise is just living in fantasy land where you make the facts up as you go. Goofy. 26 miles in a year? She could literally have done that just walking to the fridge and toilet. NTA. NTA. I know lots of marathon runners. I'm offended on their behalf. If she would have said, I got this new app and it's tracking me through the length of a marathon. It's great motivation, that would have been different. She is phrasing it the way she is to get the accolades with none of the work. If any of my friends, family told me that, I would have been making jokes at their ridiculousness. NTA. I agree with you 100%. Either your Sil genuinely did not know what a marathon is, or she knew yet nevertheless decided to misrepresent her accomplishment. In either case, you were right to correct her. If she didn't know, then you helped educate her on a key term in our sport. If she did know, she should be called out for the reasons you gave. As an endurance runner myself, I find her statement embarrassing. The better approach is to say that she ran a marathon distance over X days. If she ran it over a year, that's less than a kilometer a week. She did not run a marathon. NTA. NTA. You already mentioned in other comments that the chuckling was out of place. I'd probably smile inappropriately. Like a WTF is this person saying smile? I would also correct someone in this situation. Apply this to other situations and it sounds even more ridiculous. I've benched 250 pounds over the last month, in increments of 10. I've won the lottery. I had the right numbers if you compile all my picks this month. I won at Jeopardy. I knew all the answers. I served in the military. But I injured myself in basic training and got medically retired. Sorry. I'm not good at thinking up examples. Think of an accomplishment or goal of yours. Something that you had to work and struggle towards. And someone just coming in and claiming it as their own without having actually done it. NTA. My dad used to run marathons. He even ran 3 Boston marathons you have to qualify for. He ran 10 total. He's in his mid-70s now and still in pretty damn good shape. I used to run before I started having knee problems. Adding up my 5 kilometers here and 2 kilometers there until they reached 42 is nowhere near what my dad did. He ran marathons. I did not. Your chuckle wasn't nice, but you're not wrong. It's not a marathon. NTA at all. The YTA responses are way off base. Your Sil ran a marathon in chunks. Over the course of a year, there's nothing wrong with that. But it is not the same as powering through 26.2 miles in one go. She's 23, not 3. Her reaction to what sounds like a friendly factual correction is stupid and immature. NTA. Someone once said they were training for a marathon. I later found out it was a 5 kilometers option that was part of the race weekend. Not a marathon. Claiming you've ran a marathon when you actually did a smaller distance race is just discrediting the achievement of people who have run marathons. I've ran 4 half marathons. I don't say I've run 4 marathons or 2 marathons. By your Sil's understanding, I ran like 2 marathons a month in peak training season. Face with rolling eyes.
NTA.
NTA. By her logic, most people could brag about completing a few marathons a year. Total walking distance. She explained the details. She knows this is different than a real marathon. An appropriate response would be, "Oh, I thought you meant a marathon race. But that's great, you reached a marathon distance. What are you training for next?" Quote, "Lol. I can understand she wanted to brag and you burst her balloon. I have learned the hard way to let people do or say what they want until they ask for my advice. Or hurting someone else." NTA. She did not run a marathon. NTA for telling her it's not the same thing. But your attitude is bad.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.